But I was like, this could be him, because he just got my number that day, and I was sick to my stomach, and I couldn't answer the phone, and I was like, God, why? This is not fair. Not one time, not one date, not one. And he was like, nope. Oh my gosh, so good to see you again. Welcome back. For me, it's the same day, new video, different topic. For you all, different topic. I know for you all, it's a whole week later. Continuing the conversation from the last video. Let me actually get a couple of accoutrements here. I know, I said it, accoutrements. So, today's video. Sometimes I disagree with God. I'm not actually touting disobedience or rebellion. I just did not, one second. All right, I'm not touting disobedience or rebellion. I'm just saying that on this journey of becoming who I am, it was really important for me to, it's good that I never really dated. And I'll tell you why. It does not mean that you don't ever like a guy. I didn't have crushes. Lord knows, my mom knows. I definitely did. You know, I still had guy friends and all that good stuff. So I learned how to be friends and be natural and normal around dudes that I liked and dudes that I didn't and all that stuff. But I disagreed with the Lord that I needed to wait so long to be able to be in a relationship, or that it was good for me not to date. And here's though what I learned. I have dealt with insecurity way more than I would like to admit it. There are a couple things, but it wasn't always insecurity. Like when I was younger, I was not insecure at all about who and how I am and what I had to offer. I probably compared myself to people more than I should have, but what happened with guys never pursuing me or asking me out or anything like that, because that was a thing. I wondered, like, am I pretty? Am I attractive? Am I desirable? Desirable didn't come till later. I wasn't thinking about being desirable in middle school and high school. I just had to really own that I am lovely, even if no one's attracted to me. And, you know, people would be like, oh, they like, I'm sure there's a guy who likes you, you're just intimidating. And I didn't get that. I learned from my sisters and from my dad years later that when I was in high school, there were guys who would ask my dad, because my dad was an assistant principal at the school. A lot of people loved him. I'm gonna put on my glasses so I can see what I'm reaching for. There were guys who would be like, Mr. Redding, can I take your daughter to prom? Can I ask Nisha to prom? And he'd be like, yeah, you can ask, you gotta ask her. They never asked me. They never asked me. And so I and my sisters would be like, yeah, not always, they wouldn't really tell me who, but such and such as, there's guys like you, they would ask me about you all the time. I'm like, they never got to me. It's like, they knew that you weren't the one for you. They knew what you stood for, and I knew what I stood for. I just didn't know that they were standing for some things I wasn't standing for. So I disagreed with the Lord, but there are a couple of things. There's a lot of safety for me in it, because I was much more naive and trusting of people, so I probably would have found myself in some really uncomfortable positions because I just wouldn't have thought. I was so untried and so unaware. So in Modern Woman, I talk a lot about loving, owning, and living who you are, loving and owning your own story. And through never dating and having a guy tell me, oh, you're pretty, you're lovely, you're whatever, I don't know. I had to learn to believe it for myself without that. And it shouldn't have been as hard as it had been or was, but I learned to love and value and appreciate who I am and live it and be me for me and not to please someone else. And what that did for me, wow, is it allowed me to develop my sense of self without trying to be a kind of girl that guys always said they wanted me to be, because I would have been that person. There are lots of expectations that people had on me being the oldest and a high achiever. I had to work through that stuff and learn like it's okay to fail, it's okay not to be great at all the things, but I got to just develop my own sense of self, my own personality, my own style and flair for me, instead of putting on a version of me that would be palatable to guys so I could attract guys, and then losing myself in it. And then ending up in a marriage where it's like, I just gotta be me. And he's like, you're a different person. Like, I have to be me now. And I get to be me. And whoever chooses me is getting the real deal. That's the thing I would have struggled with if I had been with someone, had been dating before now. You know, I didn't really like it until, you know, the past 4 to 5 years. So now I agree with him. Which is so ridiculous because he's God. He's always right. But sometimes you have to, number one, I'm not always sure I'm hearing the Lord clearly. And number two, you still have to wrestle with your flesh and all your preferences and also what society says around you. Like, the way I'm walking this out is different than a lot of other people. I don't really have great, wonderful friends and, you know, parents who, and teachings I can listen to that give me an element of wisdom about it all, but I can't say such and such has walked out this journey just like this. And so I can just look and see it was hard to find that. A lot of the people that I would listen to, but I was like, this could be him because he just got my number that day. And I was sick to my stomach and I couldn't answer the phone. And I was like, God, why? This is not fair. Not one time, not one date, not one. And he was like, nope. And here we are. But at the time I was like so mad because I just didn't think it was fair. But what I found was I didn't need that in order to have enjoyable relationships with guy friends. And it was good for me. Like, he 100% was not right for me at all. And it didn't, that should have mattered to me, and it didn't. Like, I had low standards. I was willing to lower my standards just for the sake of feeling liked. And listen, that's me. You can listen to this and be like, oh my gosh, girl, you're so weak. But some of y'all know what I'm talking about. You lower your standards, you open yourself up to stuff that's not good for you. And so I'm so grateful that the Lord protected me when I didn't know how to protect myself. The moral of today's heart to heart is, even when you disagree with God, trust him, because he's got a good reason for how he's working all of your life out for your good. This was fun doing my hair and makeup, talking with y'all. I'm gonna try to do it more because I like to play around with my hair. And I think I'm gonna go on a walk and a drive and just chill. Thank you so much for joining me. Oh, and also, if you see like this is my wireless microphone, this little blue light, this little box. It's my wireless microphone. So if you're like what is that going on your shirt? It's my microphone. So it's been fun hanging with y'all and chatting, and I'll see you in the next video.